You can see from this morning's Russian papers how Moscow continues to blame Europe for the lack of a Ukraine peace deal. Izvestia, Europe sidetracks dialogue on US peace plan. The Russian government paper, Rossiyskaya Gazeta. The European Party of War against Trump's plan, why Zelensky came to London for instructions. Talking of the plan, Komsomolskaya Pravda has a big piece about Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, who is now involved in the talks. The paper is pretty sure who Mr. Kushner is putting pressure on. Donald included Jared in the talks when Russia had all the cards, so it's clear that Kushner will pressure Europe and Kiev. And Moskovsky Komsomolets has an even bigger piece today about Steve Witkoff and his ancestors in the Russian Empire. Steve Witkoff, from Russia with love. Although at the end it adds a question mark. From Russia with love, let's not rush to conclusions. Let's just go back to those accusations that Europe is trying to prolong the Ukraine war. Judging by this article on the front page of Moskovsky Komsomolets, the Russian military isn't planning on stopping. The Russian army may take advantage of the cooling of the United States to the Ukraine issue and begin radical actions on the battlefield. In particular, military experts predict the possible opening of 2 new fronts at once. Russia is spending huge amounts of money on its war on Ukraine. Meanwhile, back home, huge amounts of money are needed to patch up Russia's crumbling communal infrastructure. As Nezavisime Gazeta reports, the problems lead to this. Wave of winter utility accidents across the country. In the Russian regions, with the onset of the heating season, the chances of being left without both heat and water increase dramatically. For example, in Angarsk, Irkutsk region, there's been an accident at a power station. More than 167,000 people left without heating. Temperatures there are forecast to drop to minus 29 Celsius. In Novosibirsk, more than 50 residential buildings and social facilities temporarily left without heating. And in Zverevo, Rostov region, residents without water after a sluice burst. Same paper and an interesting editorial about the increasing restrictions on foreign messaging apps. It says there is a lot of talk right now about the likely blocking of foreign messaging apps, like WhatsApp and Telegram. Since the summer, it's been difficult making calls on them. But the editorial suggests that in the corridors of power there is a battle going on between those who want to restrict these apps even more and those who don't. The elite is diverse in character. Some people there are old school, cautious, with a mindset for guarding everything. They instinctively react to any innovations from the West as a threat to national security and offer the simplest solution, to ban and block everything. But there are also many who live the new life in the modern world, use all amenities, including messaging apps, which are under threat. These people see no point in tightening the screws as far as they go. However, supporters of blocking will always come up with alternative and strong arguments. And what's been happening with restrictions on calls confirms this. After all, lobbyists for the state-produced Max Messenger can always produce data to show how many young people have already installed this messenger on their phones.